Apple, this guy again. Hello and welcome to another episode of With Enough Prep Time. I'm your host, the Nerd Man, and today I'm here with special guest, Superwise, as well as always special guest, JG Shaolin, the breaker of chains himself. And yeah, I know. I always do this stupid laugh. Yeah, we're discussing today Venom 2. We're discussing Snyder Cut numbers as well in China, as well as taking questions from you guys. So, you know, keep the questions coming in if you are there and we'll be discussing things that you want to talk about as well. But we are going to start anyway. Superwise, actually, let's do a intro for yourself, Superwise, because you haven't been on my channel before, and you're one of my absolute favorite YouTubers on here. Actually,
wow, thank you.
A lot of your videos. I always like your opinions. So, yeah, intro, man.
Yeah, I mean, this is my first live stream. Like,
is it
ever? Yeah. So
no way.
Get the honor. You get the honor. Yeah.
What? Wow. Okay. I feel like a lot of pressure for that. Jesus.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
I mean, that's great. So I mean, go check out Supervisor's content. Do subscribe to his channel. No man, what's up? Yeah, hey man, how's it going? Yeah, what's good?
Tony Robinson, my southern brother. What's up?
Yeah. Keep questions coming because we are going to come to them. But we want to discuss, I guess, Venom 2. Do you want to take another look at the trailer? We'll break down the trailer together, like bits you liked and stuff like that. Will that help you in this discussion? Or have you got something you wanted to say straight off the bat?
Yeah, you can play the trailer again if you want.
Yeah, exactly. Having the footage beside us is pretty good.
It's good. Yeah. Venom 2. I can tell you one thing that I need to discuss with both of you. We'll watch the trailer first. We'll watch the trailer first, actually. Let's watch. Hey, Vishal, man, what's going on?
I've already seen the trailer like 3 times or something like that.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, yeah, I didn't ask you. You're like a big fan of Venom, so you're going to be able to give us the skinny on, you know, how accurate it is and all of that stuff. So let's watch. Yeah. We'll watch the trailer and then we'll you know, do that together. All right, where is it? Oh, it's there already. Okay, I'm already inside. All right, let's go. You can tell me to pause it at any point as well, man.
I say either, you say either, I say neither, and I say neither. Let's call the
What is with Tom Hardy's issue with always doing weird accents of like classic, like, do you know what I mean? He did like a Sean Connery-esque accent for Bane. And now he's decided Arnold Schwarzenegger is exactly who fucking Venom is. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, in my trailer reaction, the first thing I said, that sounds a little bit like Arnold.
Yeah, because his voice is completely different from the first one.
Yeah, I know. It's more, I don't know. It's more, I don't know, upbeat, lively.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just waiting for him to say, "Get to the chopper." I'm just waiting. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, look, it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Kindergarten Cop or Jingle All the Way. That's basically doing like that kind of manic, like it's weird, like twins. It's Twins Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's a classic movie, by the way. You guys ever seen Twins?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, DeVito.
DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I think they're making
Anyway.
a second one for that. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
like, really?
with Eddie Murphy, man. That would be
Yeah,
Oh
fun.
my god.
That's gonna be crazy, man.
It's gonna be funny as hell if anything.
Buckle in, guys.
That would be good. All right, so we've already got some comments. So we've got. I don't like the Venom character. Don't like his character from Vishal. Anybody got anything to say to that?
Go ahead, Superwise.
Well, characters. Everyone likes their different characters, but Venom is the definitive Spider-Man villain. You think of Spider-Man, number one villain, Venom. So you can not like the character, of course. That's totally fine.
Yeah. Is Venom Spider-Man's son or brother? Superwise, you're the expert here.
Neither. Eddie Brock. That's the whole storyline. Eddie Brock is the villain. He's not related to Spider-Man whatsoever. There's a lot of variations of Venom. They were schoolmates, the school buddies. They worked at the same science lab in some comics, and it's like very different. The bell tower obviously is great. Great Venom moment.
The bell tower. Oh, right, where with the death of Gwen Stacy.
No, that was Green Goblin. Like in the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon, Spider-Man 3, they have that iconic bell tower scene where basically Eddie Brock becomes Venom.
You're calling that iconic?
Yeah.
You're calling that iconic? What is?
Listen, I'm gonna say it right now. You ready?
Right. Well, I have to go now, Dwayne, because I'm due back on the planet Earth.
Bro. I'm just gonna say it right now. You ready for a hot take? Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 is not a bad movie. It is a good movie.
Ooh.
Dude, do you know what? I'm not that far off from you there, man. We'll discuss that in a minute. Sorry, go on. Say what you want to say. Oh
yeah, and one of the classics 90s cartoon, Eddie Brock was in like prison or something, and then he got the symbiote there, and then Cletus Cassidy had like the next cell next to him or something like that, and he became Carnage.
Yeah,
I think
a lot of variations.
I think JG Shaolin was a little bit triggered. He was like,
I said, do we have a panel?
Shaolin, are you triggered by that?
You know what? Everyone has their opinions, and I respect that. But dude, really?
I'm not that far off from him, man. Like I don't hate on that movie like some people hate on the movie, man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3, we'll get into that. We'll get into a little bit of so stay tuned for that. We're gonna defend Spider-Man 3 live on Hot Takes Tuesdays. Live on Hot Takes Tuesdays, dude. All right, so we'll watch a bit more of this trailer.
Catch up.
Excuse me.
Yummy.
Good evening, Eddie.
Hey, Mrs. Chen.
Good evening, Venom.
Mrs. Chen.
He says hi.
Wow. That was fun.
Yeah, that's funny. That was funny.
I've been thinking about you.
I didn't realize that was Woody Harrelson's voice there, like in the background. He's not doing a bad job, but I'll talk about Woody Harrelson later. But we'll
in that scene, that one little part, we see that they've already kind of made adjustments to the origin right there. Instead of Eddie Brock and Cletus, whatever his name is, being in prison together, you see Venom coming to visit him, or it looks like he's visiting him in prison. So now it's how does Cletus become Carnage?
No. How does he know him? Right, exactly.
Because you and I are the same. Every decision we ever make, who do we leave behind And how do we leave them? Waiting in the darkness for the rescuer who never comes. Welcome back, Eddie Brock. It's been a long time. Miss you so much.
All right, look.
Yeah, he's already annoying me.
Oh man,
So much.
Dude, is this guy supposed to be a fucking serial killer right now, bro? Is this guy? Am I supposed to believe Woody Harrelson? Guys, again, this is like an old reference now. I can't believe how like old I am. It feels like yesterday, but like I used to watch this guy growing up watching Cheers, with him being in the bar, like Woody in the bar at Cheers, man, and it's just like, he's never shaken that image for me. But he usually picks movies that kind of fit him. I think he's looking for a challenge here or something, but I don't know if it's working. Is it working for you guys?
Not at all.
You know what? I don't completely dislike it. I don't know. It's just I get the vibe that's like unhinged, sort of silent, crazy guy vibe from him. That's just me though.
But I mean, we have a guy in his character who's killed a dog because he was jealous, right? We seen a guy who's burned down a school, who's pushed, was it grandmother, somebody down the steps in the comics, who's become this serial killer who's just mentally crazy.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like a proper.
I don't know. He reminds me of Robin Williams in a 1 Hour Photo, right there.
A little bit, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
I see that now.
yeah. And
like he's
supposed
crazy,
to be
but it's like what I say, like silent crazy, right?
Yeah, and he's supposed to be like a psychopath, right? Like, and you're just. I've got a bit of an echo there. I don't know who it is.
What about now? Was that me?
Yeah. Okay. All right, still got the echo.
Okay, what about now?
Hello? Yeah, good.
Yeah,
all right, yeah. He's supposed to be this psychopath, and I'm just not buying it. I think you could have just chosen a much better actor. And you know what? I'll show you a scene in something else later, but there's an actor in this who would have probably been not my first choice for Carnage, but at the same time would have been way better than Woody Harrelson. It's like they should have just switched roles, but he's less of a big name actor, so maybe that's why they didn't go for that.
Earlier I said Cameron Monaghan. I think that would have been very good.
I could go with that.
Younger Carnage. And JG, you said Jackie Earl Haley, Rorschach from Watchmen. I think that would have been.
He's already ready.
He's skinnier too. He's skinnier. He has that sort of physique of Cletus Cassidy. I could have definitely seen that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think all of those choices are like better. I mean, it's hard not to think of a better choice than Woody Harrelson for this role. To be honest, it's like you could like throw in like anything. I think for instance, the guy who actually played Venom in Spider-Man 3 would be a better choice.
Just dye his hair red. I could see that.
But anyway, all right, let's finish this off so we can have a full discussion.
Soon come chaos. Chaos soon come. Is the loneliest number that you ever do.
The chocolate delivery hasn't arrived yet.
No!
We had a deal.
What's gonna happen? You gonna stop protecting me?
I am happy to eat, Mrs. Chen.
No, you cannot eat, Mrs. Chen.
What?
Nothing.
See, all of that stuff at the apart from that comedy moment at the end, I didn't mind. The trailer like picked up a little bit. It didn't give much, but like it gave me enough of a flavor of the movie where I'm like, it will be more of what I enjoyed in the first movie. So, guys, what did you think of the first movie? Let's just talk about that Venom, the first movie.
Oh yeah, I'm ready to talk about the first movie. I remember seeing it opening weekend. I was ready. I was excited, and it didn't disappoint. I think it's a dumb movie. It's a dumb movie, but it's dumb fun. Yeah. Like, for example, Godzilla versus Kong. That movie's not dumb fun. It's just dumb. And
right.
With Venom, I had fun with it. The comedy worked. The whole buddy cop friendship between Eddie and Venom worked. CGI wasn't too half bad. We finally got that comic accurate Venom. And what I love about the Venom movie is that it sort of had the same feel, tone, style of the early Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, the goofiness and the silliness. That's what I love about it, because I love the MCU, don't get me wrong, but I miss those early Tobey Maguire sort of comic book days, and that's what Venom gave me. And it's so rewatchable. I find myself watching it a lot. I have a lot of fun with it. I'm looking forward to seeing the sequel.
Yeah, and obviously you're a big fan of Andy Serkis as well, right? Who's directing this thing.
Yeah, I remember I first saw him, not in Lord of the Rings. I saw him in the Planet of the Apes movies, where he did the mocap for Caesar. I was like, wow, this guy's incredible. And then he directed some stuff like Mowgli. He's a darker director, and I said this in my video. I was a little bit concerned about the tone of Venom 2, because I like the tone of the first Venom movie. I was a little worried that they would change that for the second one, and I wouldn't be opposed for it going darker, more grittier, but I'm glad that Andy Serkis is sort of sticking to the tone of the first Venom movie. I like that consistent tone. Yeah.
Why is there a picture of Joffrey in the corner of my thing? It's because I'm the Joffrey Baratheon of YouTube, bro. I'm the that's who I am, man. That's my character. Anyway, but yeah, like I like the first movie as well. I didn't, it's not one of my favorite comic book movies of all time.
Yeah, I get you.
I guess. Also, my expectations were lowered a lot by the reviews, so I thought this was going to be absolutely incomprehensible nonsense.
Yeah, I saw the reviews. I saw the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, like a 20%. I was like, really? It's that bad? Yeah. And then I saw it, and it wasn't that bad. I don't know. All film is subjective,
It was definitely okay. I thought, as I said, I'm not like a massive fan of Tom Hardy. We can discuss that as well at some point. But
yes.
Get off of YouTube now.
What do you mean, man? What are you
Tom Hardy is a fantastic actor, man. Fantastic.
Yes. I first saw him in Rock and Roller as a who was his? Well, it doesn't matter what his character was, but just him playing this undercover kind of homosexual guy who was also a gangster, and his
Oh, was that Legend?
No, that wasn't Legend.
It was a Guy Ritchie movie. It was a Guy Ritchie movie.
There was another movie that I saw. It was Legend. He played a gangster there too.
Yeah, that's the one. He's a bald-headed gangster or whatever he was.
Yeah, he was really in that.
And then what was the one where he played two different roles, like twin brothers?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one was Legend.
Was that Legend?
Yeah, Reggie. It was Reggie Cray and Ron Cray. I'm looking at his IMDb right now. Yeah.
And then I don't know if you guys see the film Warrior, that MMA movie.
Oh, he's great in that.
Yeah. He's a really great actor. But at the same time, you were right. He does choose some roles. Like, why are you choosing that? That's beneath you, right? But
Bronson. Have you seen Bronson?
That's the one where that's one of the performances that I'm like, that's to me why I don't like Tom Hardy. I can see he's an
Really?
incredibly talented actor. There's no doubt about it. Like, he's an incredibly talented actor. He has massive range, but he just makes some choices that I'm like, I don't know about that choice. Like, as you know, you're talking about this serious guy who's in prison, who's like supposed to be the most notorious prisoner in the UK, and you're playing it like a kind of like comedy, slapstick, weird.
Yeah, I honestly wasn't
like,
expecting that for the Venom movie, because the trailers did not give off that vibe at all.
Exactly.
No, I'm talking about Bronson. I'm talking about Bronson, but I liked him in the first Venom. I thought he was absolutely fine in the first Venom. It wasn't.
Yeah,
like
I think that's why a lot of people, or some people, don't like the first Venom movie, because they were promised something in the trailer, this dark, you know, sort of superhero movie, and then you get this you know, buddy cop sort of Lethal Weapon style, which I dug. I really like that, but I could see a lot of hardcore comic book fans like, this is not my Venom, #not my Venom.
yeah, no, absolutely. But I think that people liked it in the end, you know, because like it did well in the cinema. So I think
it did very well at the box office. Without Spider-Man 2, I mean, wow.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a surprise.
Exactly. And you know, exactly, because Spider-Man's so connected to his origin.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying it wouldn't work without Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah.
And it's just like Joker without Batman. You know what I mean? And it worked. They did a great job.
No,
exactly.
You know, no, but Joker isn't as connected to Batman in terms of his own origin as Venom is to Spider-Man. Like, in all Venom's origin, Spider-Man is involved. Spider-Man gets the Venom first, and then, you know, am I right about that? Usually it's Spider-Man gets the Venom first, and then
it transitions over to Eddie.
It transitions over to Eddie, right? So it's like that missing, that component missing from the film, you'd think would make it a problem. So here's my thing. So with this film here, right, like Venom 2, I think it looks more of the same from the first one. So I think if you like the first one, you're probably going to like this one.
Yeah, that's what I like about it.
But it does have some issues with the humor, and I don't think the humor lands. I like the darker bits more than the humor, and I think some of the casting is just way off. Like, what are we? We can now talk about Woody Harrelson in the role of Carnage, as you're a big fan. So
yeah, I mean, when I saw him in that post-credit scene in the first Venom movie, I was like, what? Yo, Carnage is coming. And yeah, the wig was there, the big red wig. Thank God they got rid of that. I saw that Andy Serkis trailer breakdown. I just put a vid up on it, and Andy Serkis was saying something like, yeah, we changed the wig because we have to show that time has passed in prison. I'm like, nope, you got rid of it because it was bad.
Yeah.
And in this trailer, it seemed that he was toning it down a little bit, you know, compared to the first movie. And you know, right now I'm okay with the casting. I am definitely open to seeing him play Cletus Cassidy, because there's real potential there. I mean, you know, I could see him playing a good Carnage. I think, you know, let's wait to see the film. Let's see, you know, all of it, and then let's decide.
You're right. Like I said, we've seen that Sony's going their own route with the Venom character and the Carnage character. So for that, I'm going to see if it works. They made Venom 1 work.
They did.
Kind of changing his origin a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Now let's see if they can make Venom 2 work with Carnage.
Yeah, and you know what's weird is that wouldn't Carnage be the trilogy ender? Like, he's that
You would think so.
Yeah, the big infamous, like, everyone knows Carnage. And I was thinking about it, because Sony says the Venomverse is separate, but then we saw that Morbius trailer with Michael Keaton. So is that set in the MCU? And then in this trailer, you see the Daily Bugle logo from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. So it just raises a lot of questions. And
I mean, I'm go on.
Yeah, my point is the Venomverse separate from the MCU, or is it not? Because, you know, after Carnage, where are you going to go? I got two ideas. You have Venom face off against Tom Holland Spider-Man, or you do the Null, the symbiote god storyline where he goes out into space and he fights Null.
I think the Tom Holland one has got to be the one. I mean,
that's the moneymaker right there. That's the moneymaker.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of Tom Holland. Period. I just seen him go against this Venom.
Yeah, but
come on,
maybe him handled by somebody else might make it work a little bit more. Like, and it's a total Sony movie, and like they can make him a little bit, disconnect him from all of his MCU buddies, like, oh, he's Iron Boy, he's this, he's that. Like, focus him.
When that there was that news that Tom Holland Spider-Man's no longer in the MCU, I was kind of happy, to be honest.
Yeah,
because
me too.
he's Iron Spider-Boy to me. And say what you want about Andrew Garfield and TASM 2 and all that. At least he was his own man. At least he was Spider-Man. He could handle stuff on his own. I want Tom Holland out of the MCU. I think it was really cool in Civil War how we actually got this kid to play Spider-Man. It was something we've never seen before. Now it's old. Now I want him to be in the Sonyverse. I want him to grow, mature, fight Venom, have that Spider-Verse there. That's just my thoughts on that.
Yeah, no,
since
I
we
agree.
are doing the multiverse thing, you can have Andrew Garfield Spider-Man in this Sony universe, right?
Right.
Or you can have Tobey Maguire in this Sony universe, or, and I know they won't do it, but I'm gonna go full retard with this. Who's the Spider-Man that became Spider-Venom?
That's interesting. I anything is possible.
Spider-Man that was. It was a clone or something. I can't remember which Spider-Man it was. Was it Ben Reilly?
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember right now. I know what you're talking about, though. I do.
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys a question, because this guy in this scene is in this film, right? So you'll see the actor I'm talking about. Hopefully you'll know who he's playing in Venom 2, right? And I'm like, why is this guy not playing Carnage?
I tell you, any time.
This is from a film called This Is England, by the way.
This guy.
I don't know.
Oh, yes, him. Yes. Yes.
If you've ever seen it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was also Al Capone in Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah. Look, watch this.
Seriously, man, because I love Pete to do that. Love Pete to do that.
You made me laugh, JG. I wasn't gonna laugh until someone else laughed.
Dude, just have a movie, just him sitting there like that's comedy by himself.
Bro, make that guy Carnage, am I right?
He will be in the MCU. Perfect in the MCU.
Yeah. Oh man.
I don't know, mate. No, that I'm I know you are a good man, like, what you really think makes that go? I don't know. So the questions, man. I feel like I'm being interrogated. What do you reckon? What's with the nigga? Because you're that, aren't you? You're a fucking nigga. Aren't you?
I forgot about this language, bro. I didn't even remember this language in there. What is that? Oh,
that's part of the video, huh?
Is it?
I think.
That's not in the film. All right. But anyway, he goes like psycho on the guy. And he goes like, sorry, I can't do it with this stupid music over it. But like he's basically an absolute psycho, and he can flip very, very suddenly from if you see the whole scene, he can just flip very, very suddenly from normal, happy kind of like guy to just a complete maniac in a seconds. And I'm wondering, you've got this guy in the movie, and you put Woody Harrelson as like Carnage. So I don't know. The way Hollywood thinks is just not the way I think, I guess, man. Like, but let's talk Spider-Man 3.
Okay.
So explain to me. I've got that echo again, bro.
What about now? That better?
Nope.
Oh, freak me. Hold on.
I
Let me
don't
come
hear
back
that
out.
echo.
Come back in. See that. All right. What about now? You hear it?
I hear like there's like a thing in the background. I don't know what it is.
Okay. What about now?
Come out and come back in.
Okay.
So that I can see if it's you or if it's Superwise or me, maybe. Okay, it's still there.
It's still there.
Superwise. Yeah. Can you hear the like? There's like some background stuff.
No, I don't hear it. Hold on, let's see. You hear it now?
Yeah, there's just a little background noise like before. I think it's from you, Superwise. Can you go out and come back in just quickly?
Sure.
Yeah, it's gone.
Okay. I'm like, what the world?
Can you not hear that background behind him? I don't know what it is.
I didn't hear anything.
You didn't hear anything? All right, fair enough. All right, hopefully he'll come back in a second. But yeah, so Spider-Man 3, man, what you don't like it?
I mean, it's not as bad as a lot of pundits try to make it out to be, but there's a certain things in it, right? Like the whole Tobey Maguire dancing in the street and all that stuff was just stupid. I wish they had fleshed out there more with Sandman's character, because I don't know much about Sandman, but for what they did with it, I was really intrigued by it. Right, so they didn't really do too much with it, especially with him and his daughter, that situation and all that. I need to see more of that. Like, okay, what's up with him, right? The Gwen Stacy, how they kind of switched up her character and who she was, like from the comics, right? And it's just the characters alone. It was. Then James Franco, oh my God, that whole soap opera thing that that Peter Parker.
Superwise.
Yeah, it was just too much. It was just way too much.
So JG Shaolin is basically giving his opinion on Spider-Man 3 at the moment. You were saying like you basically like the Sandman storyline, but
I like the Sandman storyline. I wish they did more with it.
Oh, I thought you were talking about No Way Home. We're talking about Tobey Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, Tobey Spider-Man 3. Yeah.
I'm ready to defend this movie.
All right, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Oh man, I think it's incredibly underrated. I really do love it. I mean, where to begin? I mean, yeah, Sandman is great. I mean, wow. If he was alone, that'd be even better.
Yes.
But I think.
Dude, I'll go one further than you. I'll defend Venom.
Ooh,
I'll defend.
okay, let's hear that.
I'll defend. What was his name as Venom? Eric Foreman. Whatever.
Topher Grace.
Topher Grace. No, go first and like tell me why you like the movie, and I can defend Venom and Topher Grace as well.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely a dip in quality from Spider-Man 2 to Spider-Man 3. I just think Spider-Man 3 is incredibly powerful. It has something to say, which a lot of new superhero movies are just sort of like CGI, roll credits. The messages of revenge and forgiveness are very powerful. I tear up at the ending where Tobey Maguire says, "I forgive you." I was like, wow. There are the three villains. I love Sandman. Sandman is great. The Harry Osborn stuff is, honestly, I'm fine with the three villains. you could definitely improve the movie by making it 2 or 3 villains, but I'm fine with the 3 villains. Venom is interesting. That's definitely one way to say it. I wish he was bulkier. I really do wish he was bulkier.
Yeah.
And then
here's my. All right, go on. Finish.
Well, just to wrap it up, Harry Osborn. When I watch his death, I don't really feel anything. And they've been friends for all 3 movies. I don't know. I didn't feel that death. It didn't feel impactful. And then with Venom, I sort of like the concept of Venom, how when Peter puts on the suit, it sort of brings out more of his ego. Like, he's very humble, but then when he puts on the suit, he's like tenfold, what he thinks in his mind is cool, which is dancing around the streets, which I think is a one of the best scenes in all of cinema. Okay.
Oh God.
Yes.
Oh.
Listen. I always bring up this point. Yes, Joe Manganiello was in Spider-Man, by the way.
Yes, he was.
He was.
Listen,
Yeah, that's true.
I always bring up this point. Nobody calls out Spider-Man 2 for the raindrops are falling on your head scene, but everyone bandwagons and hates on that Spider-Man 3 scene. I don't mind either scene. I think Spider-Man 3 is hilarious. The dance scene, every time I watch it, it gives a good laugh out of me.
I mean, look, I'm going to say this. The dance scene is awful, okay? It really is. And that whole kind of middle section of the movie, there's something off about it. Like, but what I will say is, first of all, everyone's been right on the money about Sandman. It's a villain that's kind of almost underrated as a villain in comic book movies.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
And his arc is actually really fantastic because, as you said, it leads to that forgiveness moment. And remind me if I'm wrong here. He's the one who killed Spider-Man's uncle, right?
It was an accident.
A lot of people don't like that retcon, but I think it's fine because it doesn't change anything really. His uncle is still dead. Spider-Man's still Spider-Man. It was actually pretty clever how they did it. Oh, Sandman actually did it. And it led to that emotional ending, which I love. I really do love that. He finally forgave him.
Yeah. And I think that's a really Spider-Man-y moment from what I remember from the anime. I think I've read one Spider-Man comic when I was in Nigeria, which I was like, I had the comic and I lost it, and it was annoying because it was such a good comic as well, and I was reading it like really into it, and I've never found out how it ended. But but yeah, I from my main knowledge of Spider-Man is from the animated series in the 90s, and I used to watch that series a lot. It was like a really kind of my
favorite superhero cartoon right there.
My schooling on basically Spider-Man essentially, and it had some great villains in it as well. And Sandman was never one that stood out to me as like a particularly villain like I should look out for or I should want in movies. But I think they did an excellent job doing that arc and making it emotionally impactful. And I think that was worth so much that I almost do forgive like some of the middle part of that movie. And then the second thing, and I'm gonna defend Venom as my third point, right? But the second thing is I don't see how this movie, like Spider-Man 3, is that much goofier than the first two. It kind of reminds me of like the X-Men syndrome, except like the X-Men was kind of like worse. Like I watched X1 and I watched X2 and X3, and I'm like, everyone's going, X3 is so much more like this, that, and the other. And I'm like, no, they were all blasphemous to the X-Men, thing. Like from X-Men 1, like X-Men 2 was good because of Brian, what's his name?
Singer.
Performance. No, not Bryan Singer. Brian Cox's performance, right? As
right.
yeah,
Stryker,
like
right?
as Stryker, right?
Yeah.
But apart from that, X2 is like more blasphemy. X1 is terrible. I honestly think that's a
I
movie.
find that hard to rewatch.
Yeah. So by the time it came to X3, I was already off the train. And I guess with Spider-Man, it's kind of like the opposite effect. I was just always like, I accept that these are super goofy movies. They're not, but they are Spider-Man. That's like the Spider-Man comics. That's like the Spider-Man cartoon.
I mean, I'll take Spider-Man 3 over any of the MCU Spider-Man movies any day.
Yeah,
I will agree with that. I will agree.
Absolutely.
That movie has something to say. An MCU Spider-Man is, I just want to kiss Mary Jane. You know?
Yeah. Well, I think the Spider-Man movies from that era like perfectly captured a certain period of Spider-Man, maybe like the 60s, 70s Spider-Man comics, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like really like, you know, later comics like the 90s and stuff where it gets a little bit more darker, a little bit more grounded, even, you know, the Spider-Man universe. But like those early, you know, pulpy 60s, 70s, like really comic booky, fun Spider-Man comics, it perfectly captures that.
Sam Raimi understands the character. He truly understands the character of Spider-Man, while John Watts, there's him.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Spider-Man 3 so
they were ending the trailer.
I just want to
throw everything in there and finish it out, right? That's how I felt when I watched it. And it like we said, the Sandman was such an intriguing character. They should have fleshed it out more, done more with him. I'm cool with Topher Grace being Venom now, right? The Topher Grace now, after seeing Black Klansman and stuff, I can see him as Venom now. I mean, put him in his villain then. But I wish when he's in the bell tower, Venom comes off of him, right? I wish they had to save Venom for like an end credit scene or something like that.
I can see what you're saying.
Right, instead of just having him in there for 2-3 minutes and killing them off. Like what was the payoff for?
I'll tell you what, the way Venom died was bullshit. Yeah, like the way not died, but the way they got rid of Venom in the movie was bullshit. But Topher Grace's performance, right? All right, it was not the Venom from the comics, right? It was not like exactly like what you see in the comics with him being a stocky big guy and, a bit more bullish and brutish and whatever. But what I liked about him was there was that Topher Grace kind of, I don't know how to put it. He's got a nerdy, funny kind of quality to him that I think works for somebody who's down and out like Eddie Brock is, like in the comics. He's like a down and out character. He just doesn't have the best of luck with things. And that was what the element of the character that film captured. And Topher Grace was fine. I don't understand why everyone complains like his performance was, like this awful thing. It was just maybe not what they expected, but like not all, I don't think you should go to a film like with some idea of what you want, like exactly.
Right.
And then criticize the film on the basis that it wasn't that. You should criticize it on the basis of what the film was trying to do, not what your own, perception of what that character should be. And I think that was like kind of like one of the first fanboy outrages, like, like that's just a terrible casting and blah blah blah. And he was fine in the role. He wasn't terrible.
I think it works too because you have Tobey Maguire, who's the good nerdy kid. Then you have Topher Grace, who is the opposite of Tobey Maguire. He's still nerdy, but he goes down that dark path. So it's a nice comparison.
Yeah,
it works for that universe.
I thought honestly, him and Sandman were the most entertaining parts of the movie. Hey, I thought him and Sandman were the best parts of the movie. So I'm confused as to. The worst parts for me, I'm sorry, were Tobey Maguire going bad. If Tobey Maguire, if they fixed that bit where Tobey Maguire went bad and made it better, I think the film would have been
They
fine.
fixed that in the editor's cut, I'm pretty sure. Have you seen the editor's cut?
No, I haven't seen the editor's cut.
No, I haven't seen it in so long. I believe they take out the entire dance scene and they replace it with black suit Spider-Man swinging in the daylight. Yeah, and they add more Sandman emotional scenes. I think, yeah, if you haven't seen that, I think it makes the movie better.
Okay, I'll have to give that a shot.
All they had to do was have Spider-Man go wreck some villains, like wreck some like low key villains, like, you know, somebody's robbing a shop or something and he just beats the crap out of them, and then that would have made the movie fine, you know. And then he's like, oh, I've been corrupted by this Venom thing. All right, so that's our Spider-Man 3 discussion. Our little hot take on Spider-Man 3. So do you want to say anything final about like this Venom 2 trailer? Basically, like anything that stood out for you, anything that you want to see?
Let me think here.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you can go ahead.
I'm going to go with the Shriek character because of who she is in the Spider-Man universe and her love for Carnage or Cletus. I wonder what they're going to do with her, right? Because we see Naomi Scott in that one little, maybe millisecond scene in the trailer.
Yeah, we did.
And I'm curious because she is tied to Spider-Man. She is tied to Cletus.
Mm-hmm.
What are they going to do with her? Are they going to introduce Spider-Man in the universe where they are? Or are they going to carry on with maybe a Carnage film later with Shriek? I don't know. So I'm very intrigued by what they're going to do. I was a fan of Venom.
I forgot about Shriek. I think, like,
yeah.
Who is that character? I've never heard of her in a Spider-Man film.
I don't know much about her. I don't think she was in the Spider-Man comics a lot. All I know is that she's a villain to Spider-Man and she has this love affair with Cletus. So I don't know. I don't know. So that's a person they're really going to have to introduce. Going to have to flesh out for the fans of Spider-Man, the fans of the comics. Because if not, you're going to see a lot of
Venom's weakness is obviously the sound waves, right? So Spider-Wise, can you tell us a bit about Shriek? Like, what, and do you think Naomi is a good casting for her? Because I like I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, Naomi Scott is brilliant. Not Naomi Scott.
Not Naomi Scott.
Yeah, fuck.
No, Naomi Harris.
Naomi Harris. Yeah.
No, I'm horrible with names. I kill my own name most of the time. Yeah, Naomi Harris is phenomenal. Everything she's played in. I think the first time I saw her was in 28 Days Later.
Mm.
Yeah.
And she was excellent in that. You know what I mean? She's just phenomenal.
I don't think she's in 28 Days Later.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
20.
Oh, yeah. I think that was her first, because she was a model, and I think that was her first role in film.
All right. So, Superwise, tell us about Shriek and if you think Naomi is a good casting for her.
I have to see her performance to fully decide. The character of Shriek is interesting. She can manipulate sound, and in the Maximum Carnage comics, which I'm sure this movie is going to take a lot of inspiration from, she has teamed up with Carnage. And so in that Andy Serkis trailer breakdown, he said that Naomi Harris has like this childhood sweetheart or something like that. And I speculated in my video that might be Carnage. She might have a link to Carnage. And so I'm interested to see what they do. I remember back when this movie was first filming, I think one of the scenes was a guy in a mocap suit playing Venom, like picking up Shriek. So I think there's going to be like a camaraderie or I don't know, friendship between the two of them to fight Carnage. I don't know. There's a lot going on that could happen. I'm interested. You know, like I said, I love the first Venom movie. Venom 2 has that same tone and style of the early Sam Raimi movies that I like. The Carnage design, I like. It's not exactly that comic accurate. I wish there was more black to it. That's a nitpicky fanboy thing.
No, I don't think that's a nitpick. I honestly didn't like the like that was one of the things I was going to mention. I don't like the Carnage design. I forgot about it.
Yeah, when I first saw the
To be
design,
honest,
I didn't go. Yeah, when I first saw the design, I didn't go, "Whoa, oh my god!" I went, "That's cool, interesting design. I got to look at it. I need to see it in action."
It's the most base type of design. It's like the most, like it's especially for Andy Serkis. I expected more. Like it's as if like, you know, like that was the first design they came up with, and then they just didn't even bother like going, oh, let's try this, let's think about it this way, you know, like do alternate takes. There's nothing creative about it, and yet it kind of still only barely looks like the comics. It still looks a little bit,
I see what you're saying.
Play-Doh-ish, and like it doesn't look scary. That's the problem. It doesn't look frightening, you know, and that's what I think of when I think of Carnage. I think of somebody who is terrifying, like a serial killer with fucking superpowers and like this symbiote that can turn into all sorts of vicious weapons.
It's better than Riot, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Riot.
Well,
it was better than Riot. Yeah.
He looked like a freaking dinosaur. I hated that.
What we often see with these, especially these initial trailers, is to get, you know, reception, to see what people like and dislike about it, right? We've seen like Sonic the Hedgehog, right? And with Venom, the initial trailer, they kind of changed it up a little bit when it came out in the theaters. So I'm hoping that if the reception is bad enough, they will make changes to it.
Yeah, all the reactions I've been seeing are like, "Yo, that's Carnage, yo!" So I don't think that's gonna happen.
Well, hell with that idea, then.
But yeah, Andy Serkis and his mocap, that's like his home turf. That's his specialty. So I'm sure the CGI and the action and the mocap is all going to be really good. Andy Serkis is sort of like the professional at that. He's done stuff like that. So,
you know what? If he was young enough, he'd make a great.
Yeah, you'd think.
Honestly, yeah.
Who? Andy Serkis?
Andy Serkis, yes.
Yeah.
Did you see him in Black Panther? He damn near looked like a Wolverine.
Yeah.
Man.
Dude, he's thick enough. He's short enough. And he can do all the mocap shit.
I mean, he can do anything. He's a great actor, so I'm not like saying he can't.
He looks like a Wolverine.
Nah.
Dude, if you put him in the Old Man Logan, it will fit perfect.
He looks more like a Sabretooth than a Wolverine.
He's too damn small. Look, if he was Sabretooth, I could whoop his ass. Right? I want a big hulking figure to be Sabretooth.
Man.
Yeah, I mean that's another underrated performance as a villain. Like say Lev Schreiber as Sabretooth in the Wolverine.
Yeah,
you know that movie was so bad, but it did him a disservice because he was really good in that movie. He was menacing as hell. Guys,
I'm gonna be on mute for a second. Hold on, I'm listening, but I'm gonna be on mute for a second.
Yeah, okay. I'm wondering if I want to talk the Snyderverse numbers in this, or if I'm going to if I can do a separate video. Superwise, have you got time to do a separate video, or do you want to like another a different one?
When would be the stream?
Well, it would be right after this. But if you don't have the time, it's absolutely fine.
I can do it. I can do it.
Oh, okay, cool. So I think I'll just make this as instead of Venom 2 trailer, discussion instead. So I don't think I have much more to say about the trailer. I thought the humor was bad. I thought the humor was the weakest part of the trailer. Didn't like the design so much. But I'm not a guy who lives and dies by the CGI. If the film is good and if the film is fun, I can deal with the CGI not being incredible. Like for instance, like Aquaman has incredible CGI,
it does
amazing CGI,
visually stunning, man.
But visually stunning, but I just can't dig the story, and I know a lot of people do. But for me, the story and the dialogue, I can understand why, because of the visual grandeur of it. But I just thought, the thing with every time they're just having any kind of emotional moment, it's interrupted by an explosion. I just thought all of that was kind of like weird, storytelling, and some of the dialogue was a little bit weird as well.
Yeah, I get you on that.
Oh, right, okay. That just freaked me out for a second. But sorry, I saw another box come up down there, and I thought like there was just somebody watching us. So again, I don't like the design of Venom, but given that the story might be good, like the first one, the story wasn't terrible. It was engaging enough. So yeah. I think I might like it. That's it. And I just hope that Sony does well so they don't have to sell the rights to Spider-Man to the MCU.
Oh, God, I hope they don't.
That will be
a sad, sad day.
Yeah. I'm pissed about the X-Men being sold to the MCU, to be honest.
Dude, I'm worried. I am legitimately worried about the X-Men.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do with Wolverine. Because Hugh Jackman is definitive. I think no matter who they cast as Wolverine, I think Hugh Jackman will always be number one.
No, I don't agree with that, man.
You don't agree with that?
I think you can find a replacement for him, but he's always going to be compared to Hugh Jackman.
Replace as Wolverine.
Andy Serkis. I would love for Tom Hardy to be Wolverine if it wasn't Venom.
The guy from The Warrior. Tom Hardy, the guy from the other guy from Warrior as well.
No way.
Joel Edgerton or something like that.
They're not going to do that. I mean, if he wasn't Venom, then yeah, I'd definitely be on board with him as Wolverine.
Yeah.
But I honestly respect Tom Hardy because the only reason, publicly he said that the only reason why he accepted Venom is because his son loves Venom, and he wanted to do that for his son. So I respect him on that level.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I see Scott Eastwood as a Wolverine. He
looks like it. He looks like it. I don't know about the acting range.
Yeah,
he wouldn't be as good as Jackman.
Yeah,
Hugh Jackman. Like, no.
What do you think about Dacre Montgomery?
I don't know him. Let's see it. Let's look him up.
Kid from Stranger Things. He was in the Power Rangers movie. If they're gonna melt Wolverine.
He's too damn hot to be Wolverine.
Disney is gonna milk Wolverine bone dry. So
what's his name?
So they're probably gonna get a young actor.
Dacre Montgomery or what?
Yeah.
How do you spell?
Dacre Montgomery. Here, I'll put it in the chat.
Oh, him.
He's too damn cute to be Wolverine. I don't know.
He looks more like a Cyclops, man.
People have been suggesting Human Torch.
Yeah,
I could see that. I mean, I want Zac Efron to be Human Torch, but
I see him too.
Yeah.
No, I've looked at him. I'll show who you're talking about, but
yeah. I mean,
I don't know. He's an interesting choice. I've seen him acting in a couple of things, but he doesn't scream to me Wolverine. Honest.
I get that,
but yeah, it doesn't. I have seen him act before. He's good. I haven't shared it. Sorry. But yeah,
if they want to cast a young actor, that's the guy right there. Even on Twitter, he teased that he would be Wolverine. That was months ago. One of my first videos was on him teasing Wolverine.
All right, look. Do you know what? I'm gonna go for the Snyderverse one. Like, let's talk about this Snyderverse numbers in China that have come out. So, after finding the article, I got rid of it because I'm so clever. So I don't know where this is coming from. I don't know if you've heard about this. The Snyder Cut crossed up 250 in China, which beats out beats out Godzilla. It beats out Avengers Endgame. But again,
Really?
like, look at this source. I mean, look at this article. You're not getting this from the Hollywood Reporter. You're not getting this from anywhere. But what is your take on the Snyderverse or Snyder Cut? By the way, because I've never really had a discussion with you about it.
Yeah, I'll just say right now, I'm a huge fan of Snyder. I really do love Snyder as a director. I love his DC films. Watchmen, I love. Man of Steel, I love. BVS, I like. It has issues, but overall, I find enjoyment. And then I'm back to loving it with Zack Snyder's Justice League. I mean that 4 hours just flew by, man. For me,
I thought it was a pretty good movie, man. When I first saw it after that Flash scene, dude, if you had have seen what I did while sitting down watching that Flash scene at the end, man, it was absolutely ridiculous. There was a moment where I jumped on my couch, this couch here, jumped on it, and then like I smashed my head into the top of my like bed or whatever, and then go on.
Yeah, throughout that entire movie, I just had a smile on my face. Like, Snyder got to make the movie that he wanted to make, and you know, it's really unfortunate that we probably won't see a Justice League 2 or 3. You know, I would love to see at least Warner Brothers give him those 2, because that was the original 5-movie arc. So on Restore the Snyderverse, I'm like there. I'm not saying throw out everything and only focus on the Snyderverse, because I'm excited for the Batman. That is my most anticipated superhero movie out of all of them they have announced. I remember I was at DC Fandom. I was like, yo, let's go. I'm ready for this. I'm excited for The Flash, for Michael Keaton. Blue Beetle, I've always loved the Blue Beetle character. Static Shock, same with him. So I'm excited for the DC future. I really am. It's just, you know, I would have liked to see Snyder, you know, be involved somehow, let him finish his 2 movies. But, you know, it is what it is. But I think the takeaway...
I mean, I'm going to be doing a breakdown of the box office potential of those future movies. So maybe you can join me on that.
Yeah,
but we can react to this together. But so we don't know about the 250 million, right? Like in terms of the views. As I said, I was into it. I think Jake as well. I'm not as big a fan of of all of Snyder's movies in the DCEU.
Yeah, I get it. It's extremely divisive, but I really am a fan of Snyder.
But I honestly don't think this movie, the Snyder, actually that divisive. I think most people.
So we don't want to give up hope now.
Zack Snyder's Justice League.
What would...
Yeah, Zack Snyder's Justice League. I think it's less divisive than his other movies.
No. Man of Steel is divisive. BVS is definitely divisive. But the common consensus with Zack Snyder's Justice League is that it was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I mean, the majority of people were like, I'm not a fan of Snyder, but this movie is damn good. Or I'm a fan of Snyder, this movie is damn good. So I was really happy to see Snyder get some praise instead of, hate, constantly.
Well, I think there's one, I've said it, I'll say it, and I'll say it again like a number of different times. I think there's one reason and one reason only for that. He put the Justice League in this actual movie. Now, everyone has their own interpretations. I don't like the Justice League killing. That's my
right. I see.
That's my thing. Yeah. Right. I don't, especially like killing wantonly. Like if they don't have to. If there's an extreme situation, I can see someone like Wonder Woman killing. For me, Superman doesn't kill. Period. Batman pretty can kill. Wonder Woman, you can push her to a certain kind of degree, and she might do. But again, I think those are like, that's how I would do it. I don't expect that when I'm watching something that somebody has to do it exactly like me, right? I just want to feel the essence of the characters. And I felt the essence of the characters in this movie, just like I did in Tim Burton's Batman movies. I felt the essence of the character may not necessarily have been, a cardboard cutout of what, my favorite comic run or something like that. But the essence of the character was there. So that's what I felt in Snyder's, and I felt like that was his vision, his like little graphic novel of the Justice League put on screen. Just like that was Burton's graphic novel of Batman. And I like when the directors do that. That's my jam. When I see them do that, I think, I don't mind if they, a few things here and there aren't exactly as I would like it. But having said that, I think that is the thing, I think it made a huge difference hearing Park Kent saying, hey, fly,
that was a great scene, man.
Let the people do. I think it made a huge difference. And I think it made a huge, and I'm so, it baffles me that when I go on other YouTube channels of people who are like, oh yeah, I love Superman, and they're saying like this movie didn't do Superman justice. I'm like, I don't know what movie you saw. I think he was done too much justice, to be honest.
he was getting to that classic Superman. That's what I loved about it.
He was OP as shit. He was the guy who came in, saved the day. He was like, it was too much justice, as I said. Like, to be honest, I think if I was just a Superman fan, because Superman is my favorite hero, but if I was just a Superman fan, I'd just be like completely over the moon if I didn't care about the rest of the characters. But I do think they propped Superman up and put the Justice League down in the movie,
I see.
Which is one of the only things I didn't like about it. But let's react to this. So, like, this is what Snyder had to say recently about just what's been going on at Warner Brothers, and I think this is quite telling.
We don't really know whether or not to continue to feel hope because of some of the comments that Warner Brothers has made lately, of sort of like, oh, that's not to complete his trilogy. What is your, we didn't want to give up hope with the Snyder Cut before, so we don't want to give up hope now. So what would you say about, like, because we're kind of in this weird gray area, what should we maintain hope?
Well, I mean, I guess I would think about it this way. Yes, Warner Brothers has been aggressively anti-Snyder, if you will.
He said that. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yo, shots fired.
In my take. I would also say that, they certainly weren't interested in, I would have said originally, in my take on Justice League. They certainly made decisions about that. And I love the characters and I love the world, and I think it's an amazing place to make a movie it's glorious IP. So there's that. I don't know what what could be done as you go forward, other than I think this, the fan movement is so strong and the fan community is so, the intention is so pure, and I really have huge respect for it. And I just, I would hope that, cooler heads would prevail with them, and that, they would see that there's this massive fandom that wants more of that. But who knows what they'll do.
I choose hope, sir. Mr. Snyder, since I was
that for me was really telling, that interview.
Yeah, I did not hear that. That was the first time I've even heard him say anti-Snyder. I was like, yo, what? Wow.
Yeah. I mean, he to come out and just admit it like that.
Yeah. He's always been playing coy about it. Well, this, that, the other. No, he outright said Warner Brothers is not Snyder.
Yeah, like they're anti-Snyder. And I mean, they've put out pieces on him. Like it's really bad blood between him and some of the people there. And to be honest, some of it I blame either on him or Ray Fisher. I don't know which one is to blame. I don't know if he was behind what Ray Fisher did, like if he encouraged it.
Yeah,
but Warner Brothers basically said they think Snyder's behind it so that he could take back the DCEU. That's what they said I couldn't believe what I was reading.
Wow.
In the Hollywood, what do you call it? Hollywood Reporter or whatever.
Yeah, Hollywood Reporter.
Article. Yeah, like
Wow.
they said that in the article, which I was just like, I've never heard. It's either deeply unprofessional what they said,
right? I mean, there's an actual
war,
war,
or the bad buddies were like really bad between them.
Oh my god.
You know, I mean, I think Walter Hamada and Sarnoff and certain other people just despise him and despise his fans because they brought out the Snyder Cut. They were like, oh, all right, we'll release it. And then instead of like them getting all the positivity, they just got a bunch of negativity online about like, you know, like from Ray Fisher and all of these people. And I don't know if that was like a gamble. Like they thought, oh, maybe if Warner Brothers will fire these guys and then Snyder, I don't understand what he thought the idea was. I feel like he should have just let the film speak for itself and not started filming, you know, other parts of it and, you know, making them spend like another 70 million on this movie. I think he should have finished off the CGI and just done like the bare minimum, not putting in Martian Manhunter or an epilogue and all of that stuff.
No, he set up a lot of stuff that we might not be able to see. It was cool to see that nightmare sequence, you know, but it's disappointing because we may not see the Vision now. You know what the full journey. It was supposed to be 5 films, and I'm honestly surprised that because the Snyder Cut didn't do huge numbers, but it was successful. I mean, did you see
apparently, this is the thing. This is what I'm talking about. The whole point of this is it's apparently been seen 250 million times in China, and I believe on VOD. So, like because they don't have HBO Max there, so it's got to be some video on demand, which means that it made a lot of money. That's more than Endgame did in China.
And then you see the Samba TV numbers, man. The Samba TV numbers. I think it's like 3.2 right now.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it like they have the numbers. I just find it weird how they don't at least. I know I'm not a business guy, a businessman or whatever. You know, I'm not, you know, Mr. Money over here, but I think that they should greenlight a 2 and 3 because number one, say what you want about Snyder, he has a vision. Warner Brothers right now is just greenlighting stuff, you know. Like, you know, and they say the Flash is going to reboot the universe, but that doesn't make any sense because now you have all these different superheroes and in their alternate universes, and then you're gonna have this multiversal Justice League team. Like it's just all, and then you got this Black Superman reboot, which don't even get me started on that.
I know, right?
Yeah,
I already did an 11-minute rant on my channel. You know, just give me a break. But where was I? Yeah, and I think it worked out for HBO Max because now Snyder can make a 4-hour movie without having to fit the time constraints of a theater. And plus when you take it into consideration, I mean, what's going to be DC is always going to want to compete with Marvel. They've made that very clear. I wish they would do their own thing, but you know, I'm not, you know, I don't get any say in that obviously, but at least with the Snyder, like, I mean, the Snyder Cut competed with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier on that same day, and the Snyder Cut was on that Thursday. Everyone was talking about the Snyder Cut. That was Warner Brothers' day. They were getting praise. It worked out really well for them.
No, but with all the praise, they also get so much negativity. But to me, like the way I see it, look, if I got like 300,000 people on my channel, right, and you know, they were supporting me and whatever. I don't know how this works on this platform anyway. But like, if I got that, and there was like, say, 100,000 of them were insulting me, right, like just sending me like terrible messages and whatever, but they were giving me money or something, I wouldn't care. I would not fucking care. I'll take your money. You can hate me all you like. I don't, that's my issue. I can perfectly understand them being upset at these fans, but like,
I mean, those toxic fans make us normal Snyder fans look terrible.
Exactly.
Like anytime I tell someone, "Yeah, I'm a Snyder fan," oh my god, you're part of that cult. I'm like, no, please stop. I'm a normal guy who just likes Snyder's vision. I'm just a normal guy. You know, it's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. I mean, as I said, the funny thing again is just like, I think the movie was pretty, not even pretty. I think maybe I'm even like, now I've kind of tempered my opinion because of other people's opinions. But honestly, I do think it's one of the best comic book movies I've ever seen.
I can't even argue with that. And it's just an accomplishment. This is a cinematic, like when we look at the history of cinema, the Snyder Cut's going to be there. It was unprecedented. It's just crazy, the journey that us DC fans have been on.
And I think that's part of the emotion of the film, and I think you can feel the emotion of that it took so much to get the vision seen, and then you see it, and it's like all throughout you get the joy and the sadness and the despair and the triumph and the uplifting, of the fact that it actually got made, like within every frame and every story beat, and it has a real heart. Like
it does.
It's one of my complaints of many Snyder films is I feel that they have no heart and I don't have an emotional connection to the characters. And maybe a lot of people say that they don't to this movie, and I'm like, I don't know what movie you're watching. Like there's so much heart. Like that bit where like Cyborg helps the single mother. I'm like, that's full of heart. That's more heart than I've seen in a comic book movie probably since Wonder Woman did that No Man's Land scene. I don't think I felt as choked up by a scene in a comic book movie since then. It's very rare. Like there's I'll tell you, like I should actually do a list of this, but like the most emotional scenes in comic book movies. But like I think the V for Vendetta, there's one with Natalie Portman reading that letter.
Oh, that's a good movie. Yeah, good scene.
Yeah, and then if you've ever seen Kick-Ass, right?
Oh man, I love Kick-Ass. I love Kick-Ass.
Yeah, where I think that's a really underrated movie. I think that's one of the best comic book.
That's one of my favorites. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's in my top 10 superhero comic book film.
Yeah. Oh, really? When Big Daddy dies, and when he when Kick-Ass is flying with Hit Girl. I think that gets to me, like
it does
the way that Wonder Woman scene or that Cyborg scene gets to me. There's very rare moments in comic book movies where I feel like that. It's a weird alchemy that leads to that situation where you're just like misty-eyed and like saddened, and yet feel like this is pure comic book at the same time. A pure expression of what the joy of comic books, should I say?
For sure, man. For sure.
So, Colin, what's some of yours? Give me an example, or
of like comic book movie moments where they made me tear up,
or even something from the Snyder Cut. Like, what's your favorite moment from the Snyder Cut?
Let's see. When I'll just say it right now, when Flash is running through the Speed Force at the end, I was like, go Barry, go. And he's talking to himself and he's like, I'm doing this for you, Dad. Bruh. Like, oh man. And then
and you know what? The weird thing about that is after that point, like that point in the movie, I think if they had done a solo Flash movie, it would have made $1 billion.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you there. Yeah. And also the Cyborg scene at the end where he's like, I'm not alone or whatever, and he pulls the mother boxes apart. That was great. Poor Ray
pure
Fisher, man. He
emotion,
had so
dude.
much potential, man. He ruined it for himself.
He's a
Man, he could have been great. He could have been great.
He could have been one of the greats, man. I saw a
honestly.
lot of potential in that young man, but like he went another way. Like, he went the other way, partner.
Man. And other comic book movies, I always turn to Captain America: Winter Soldier, where Steve is on the floor. I'm with you to the end of the line. That was great.
See, I see what you're saying, but I don't know that it gets, like with the Winter Soldier, I don't know that it gets everything right. Like,
yeah, I understand you on that.
To get to that moment where because it's not just about the moment itself, it's about all the setup and build up to that moment. And I don't know that film does that as well as like some of the other ones I talked about. But I know what you're saying. As a moment, that is powerful for me. Like as a moment, Captain America jumping on that grenade is really powerful to me.
Yes. Oh yes, that's it, man. That is I think it's my favorite Captain America moment besides the Mjolnir lift, where he sacrifices himself. He jumps on that grenade, and that's such a great scene. And
go on.
And then outside of the MCU, the Big Daddy death scene is great. And then Steve Rogers at the end of Endgame, that gets me. It really does. Like, he finally got that dance with Peggy.
I would say this. The scene in Endgame with Iron Man, he puts on the gauntlet, looks over at Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange throws up that one finger like it's that 1 in like 3 trillion or whatever chance you can get to win this. And he looks at Thanos, says, "I am Iron Man," and snaps his finger.
Bro.
Dude.
Lost myself in the theater.
And I hate the MCU, but I cried on that part. Man.
Yeah, man.
I didn't know you hate the MCU.
I hate the MCU. You know what my saying? F the MCU every stream.
Oh, hey, I didn't know that. But look, going back to the Snyder Cut and these like numbers again, right?
Right.
How can Warner Brothers ignore if this is true? Again, I wouldn't put it past the Snyder Army to just make this up and like put it on the internet. Right. I really wouldn't. That's my only problem with it. That's why I can't know if it's true or not. But at the same time, if this is true, you've got 250 million views in China, which means you're going to get like, I mean, it's going to make bank in Europe and America, definitely. People trying to suggest like, what do they think that Justice League 2 by Zack Snyder is going to do bad in the box office in America? And you can't say that streaming is a reflection of how it's going to do in the box office. I just think that's a bizarre metric to take. Like, streaming is
JJ just dipped.
Let's hope he comes back. But that's a bizarre metric to kind of look at, like the Snyder Cut through, right?
I'll say one thing.
So I just let me just to finish, right?
Sure.
To me, I think it's a foregone conclusion that if he had have cut this down to 3 hours, and it could have and managed to capture all the powerfulness of the Snyder Cut, in normal times this would have made $1 billion. This movie, because it would have gone up from 800 million from BVS, and I think it would have captured more interest because a lot of it would have been a upward swing momentum. But forget that can't happen anymore. Definitely for me, a Justice League 2 released in cinemas. Fuck HBO Max. Anyone saying put it on HBO Max, they're crazy. If that's what they're thinking about, like if that's what the Snyder fans are pushing for, then I'd be completely there with Warner Brothers and say absolutely not. We're not putting spending money to put that much money, put this kind of thing on HBO Max. That's insane.
Yeah.
Put it in theaters. Justice League 2, Justice League 3.
I would love to see the Snyder Cut in theaters, but it's a 4-hour movie. That's improbable.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because the Snyder Cut, it's a 4-hour movie, and I loved watching every minute of it. But I ask you guys this: do you think it would have been better if HBO Max released it weekly to maintain the hype?
No.
I think so.
No, I don't.
Because I would be pissed personally if that happened, because I want to see the entire thing. But if we're talking about from a smart standpoint, do you think maybe, releasing it weekly like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier will keep the hype maintained,
I'll tell you why I don't think so, because I think a lot of people, even though I don't agree with them, thought the first act was very weak. And I don't agree with them at all. But a lot of people, these online talking heads or
online
whatever.
people,
yeah, like that's a common complaint that I've seen, that the first act is very weak. And for me, to be honest, I think it really kicks off for me as a film when you get to the point where Flash saves Iris West. Right?
Yeah.
So if people had have watched that first week and they weren't necessarily into Snyder, they may have used that as just an excuse to just shit on the movie and just give it terrible kind of reviews, right? And then say, that might have dipped it might have impacted what people saw, how many people saw even the first part, and then the second part would have been impacted by that as well. So I think it was better to just release it like as a whole and let the movie be reviewed in and of itself, the whole thing,
Yeah, I get you on that. I do.
But I think that, people who are going to shit on it are going to shit on it anyway, right? Because people are finding little small things to say, this thing is horrible, it shouldn't have happened, right? Now, if you had a kind of like divided it up into maybe 3-4 parts, you get a gauge on it. If this was released in the theaters, how well would it have done? Because this would not have been released in 4 hours at one time. Right, this would have been like a part 1, part 2 type of thing. So if you release it like bi-weekly or something like that, part 1, part 2, or maybe 3 parts, you get a good gauge on, okay, how would this have done in theaters?
I don't think you would. I don't think there's any way you can look at streaming to see how good something will do in theaters. It's just a completely different medium. I mean, I'm not like the popularity, the reviews might show you something like how well it's reviewed, but 3.2 million. Look, especially with HBO Max, if it was global, if HBO Max was a worldwide, streaming service, then yes. But because it's only in America, right, as a streaming service mainly, you can't get any gauge on how it would do in cinemas at all, really. You can barely even get a gauge on how well it would do in North America, because not everyone has HBO Max, first of all. Lots of people are going to stream it, on illegal streams, right? And not bother to watch it on HBO Max, to give it a view on HBO Max. The problems go on and on and on with how like streaming is just not a good gauge to see how many people watched the movie, how many people were interested in the movie. Yeah, man, like, and it's just in America, as I said. Plus, as soon as you put it on HBO Max, you can do illegal streams. You can't do that in the cinema at the same quality. It would have had that 3-week grace period where you'd only have bad versions of it online.
Yeah, I would have loved to see
they make a good point.
Theaters.
Was that
what happened?
Was that a devastating blow to your argument?
It was.
Devastating. Sorry.
Yeah, the Mueller hammer has been struck.
No, I'm joking, man. I'm joking.
Defeat.
Yes, I accept it.
No, I'm joking. No, you
but
made
the war
it.
continues.
No, great discussion, man. Great discussion.
Yeah.
No, you made a good point. You made some good points, but as I said, it's just that's why I'm like, when people are throwing it in Snyder's face, and I think the part of the problem is the Snyder fans actually set themselves up for failure by trying to gas up how much it was going to do on streaming, and I was just like, there's no way it's going to do this numbers on streaming, guys.
Yeah.
Like, you know, don't set yourself up for this kind of humiliation. And they did, because, you know, Wonder Woman 1984 beat it in North America. You know, like Kong v whatever beat it, or whatever.
How Godzilla versus Kong beat Snyder Cut? I have no idea. I don't know.
It's a new movie.
I don't know what's wrong with people. I just don't know.
I think it's a new movie, and they promoted it more.
Yeah, I think Wonder Woman 1984 made a lot more money because of Christmas. Everyone was on break. You know, Snyder Cut came out on a Thursday, which I was, you know, people have work, they have jobs, they have school.
Yeah.
You know, should have released it on the weekend, man.
Yeah, that might have been a lot better.
And I think they promoted the shit out of Wonder Woman 1984
they
as
did.
well.
They really
You know, they made it like it's some important movie you've got to watch on Christmas. Do you remember that?
Us.
I was. Yeah, go on, man.
No, I just want to say they wanted to convince us it was a good movie.
And I was so disappointed.
Oh my!
Christmas Day, that was like I wasted 2 hours of my life watching this.
Yeah, Wonder Woman 1 is so good, and then you jump into 1984 and you're like, what am I watching? Like, what happened? What happened?
Dude, man, and I was watching that first opening scene on Themyscira, and I was like, dude, this is it, bro. I was like, this is good.
I didn't
some
watch
good
that,
shit.
Yeah, I waited till the entire movie to see that opening scene.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, it opened great, but it was just like, what the hell?
Well,
you go from this to that?
You know, if it's a minute clip of a movie, I'll see it. But that was like the entire opening. I wanted to save that for the actual movie.
Yeah, and I see why they leaked that first.
Oh no, yeah, no,
before they showed the entire movie.
They did the same thing with Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you showed the best parts of the whole entire film.
Yeah.
But even that Mortal Kombat bit is being gassed up a lot more. Like, that was not that great. Like that beginning.
I thought all
that was good about it. Yeah, it was.
Like, I don't outright hate it. I don't outright like it. I just think it was average.
You mean the opening, right? The opening.
No,
scene.
the opening was really good. I'm just talking about the overall.
Oh, I
movie.
thought the opening was average as well. I didn't know why everyone was.
I think the editing
good.
really brought it down. The editing was so choppy and weird.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't make out what was going on. I love the martial arts movies where you could actually see what's going on. You know, Mortal Kombat had this weird editing.
Dude, once you go from the 95 version, I think it was 95 to this, it's no contest. I'd rather watch the 95 version again.
Yeah, that had really good action.
Yes.
Well, look, we should do the final word on because we're going off into different kind of areas, but it's fun. I want to get you guys, if you're not, I'll talk to you about it off the stream. Actually, it's probably better. But
sure.
Yeah, like in terms of this movie, I wish, this is my really wish for, and I've said it over and over again, my wish for Zack Snyder in terms of this universe. I don't think he needs to be taking over any universe or, whatever. I think they need to get his movies in cinemas, though, where they belong. I think he should rethink that second movie a little bit. I think you need at least, even if you want to kill off the Justice League, which I'm just like, I don't get it. You haven't even got Green Lantern. You haven't got, hey, old man, how's it going? You haven't got Green Lantern. You haven't got, you haven't got Manhunter set up, and you want to kill half the Justice League. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always the movies that we don't get to see. Like with, for example, Spider-Man 4 had some crazy ass plot details that, like, you jump from Spider-Man 3, which is like a cohesive story. Then you have Spider-Man 4. You have Black Cat, who's the Vulture's daughter. That's a rumor, but just these crazy ass ideas that never get to make it into the, that never get to see the light of day. With Zack Snyder, I love Zack Snyder, but like I think one of the plot details for Justice League 3 was making Superman's son the new Batman.
Yeah,
I thought, I was just like, what?
Dude, let's be quite clear about something. Zack Snyder's ideas, like, he's got like 3% good ideas and 97% bad ideas. Like, I'm sorry, like any idea he can't. The Snyder cut was a blend because the studio put a kibosh on his initial idea, and they said, "Look, dude, that's not happening. Go back with Chris Terrio, write a proper script." And they went back and they wrote something that they thought would appease the studio a little bit more, right? And that's the main body of the Snyder Cut movie, right? And then you had the 70 million, and the 70 million was where he had free reign. And every single thing he spent that 70 million on, for me, was the bullshit of that movie. I'm sorry. I know you like the epilogue. But I'm sorry. No.
Yeah, I do like the epilogue. But yeah, I can totally understand.
The Martian Manhunter, like Martha turning into Martian Manhunter, that was one of his added scenes.
Yeah. That was such a great scene. And then you have Martian Manhunter, show up. I was like, why wasn't it Martha? Just Martha, Yeah. But yeah, go on. What were you going to say? You were going to respond to what I was going to say. I like the epilogue. Yeah, I like the epilogue. I like the dialogue between Batman and Joker. Jared Leto is still Jim Carrey Joker. Unfortunately, he's such a good actor. Why can't he just stop being Jim Carrey? He's, like I said, I like the epilogue. I understand the people who say it's tacked on, though, because it's setting up something that we might not ever see, which is disappointing.
I don't think it's tacked on, but look.
Yeah, I'm just saying some people think it's tacked on.
Basically, they had the perfect setup for Darkseid by the end of the movie.
Yep.
Right. That Cyborg had the vision about the future.
Right.
We saw that Darkseid was going to bring his army. Why did they need the epilogue? We already knew the setup. Like, and the thing about that epilogue is that it narrows down what you can do with the sequel. It makes it like, people are now, the hardcore Snyder fans are going to want to see this weird future, and I think it's going to put general audiences off. They're going to be like, "Where's Wonder Woman? Where's?"
Yeah. As a Snyder fan, I'd love to see that Mad Max nightmare future. I'd love to see that, but you're right about general audiences. They're just like,
where's Aquaman?
Yeah,
where's the fucking Justice League? Right, exactly.
Where's Justice League?
Right, it's like you've got.
But on some level, I can excuse it because this is, this might be Snyder's last DC film. And I can admire him for saying, you know what, I have the money. Let's just go balls out. Let's just do it. If it's going to be his last one, let's go out with a bang. Let's just do every crazy ass thing I wanted to do. And I can admire him for that. I really can.
I'll take an animated movie for that. Like, I wouldn't be interested. I
hey guys, we got to run out. It was great. It was great talking to you guys. Hope to talk to you guys again.
Yeah, great.
Cool, man. Cool. JG, man, as always, pleasure. We should go soon as well, because this is getting this becoming quite long stream. But it was good to talk to you about this stuff.
I know it was great.
But yeah, it's just, I know what you're saying. It would be cool to have him do a balls to the wall, like just do everything he wants. But it's too much. It's just too much.
I can meet you
Like
up on
for
that.
my weak heart, you know, my
But
dead heart.
I'll say this: I think Snyder is getting more praise over on Netflix. I mean, those early reactions to the movie, everyone is like, "Wow, this is a great zombie movie." I'm thinking
Oh,
Zack
really?
Snyder. Yeah. I saw an article where people have seen it. And they're like, "This is such a fun, just crazy ass zombie movie." I'm definitely gonna see it.
Oh, okay. Wait,
Yeah, so
it's
people.
on there.
Yeah.
Oh no, coming May 21st. Okay, it's May 21st. That's not long
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, it's not long away. So it makes sense that the embargo for fans or whoever's seen it would lift. But yeah, people are liking it. A lot of people like to see him on Netflix now because I guess he's given more creative freedom on Netflix as opposed to Warner Brothers saying, no, you got to do this, this, and this. I think Zack Snyder likes being with Netflix because now he's making that entire Army of the Dead universe on there.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be great with that. But I want to see. I just wish he'd do like I wish they could. I wish they could convince a director to do a Justice League 2 movie, like a director who isn't so far away from Snyder, like just somebody who, you know, isn't like not like Josh Whedon, basically. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, not that again. Don't do that again.
Somebody who makes sense within that universe to just do a little Justice League in between movie, and then he can go off and do his nightmare shit.
Yeah,
I think you need a Justice League 2 where they're together, where you've got Green Lantern, you've got Wonder Woman, you've got like all of them on all the band together. Superman, go on an adventure. I think personally, I've said it and I'll say it again. A Tower of Babel story for Justice League 2 would be really good with the Legion of Doom as the villains, and I think Zack Snyder could direct that even.
Yeah, I would have loved to see freaking Jon Stewart like alongside the Justice League. I want Jon Stewart. I don't want Black Superman. Please, Warner Brothers, listen to me. I want Jon Stewart.
Exactly.
Oh, man, it's like they don't listen. They don't listen. I just
exactly. Wow. So yeah, I mean, I would totally go for that. You know, and then he could do his nightmare bullshit. I think that would fit. Like just do the second one first, then do the nightmare, then do the one after that. You know, where I think Batman isn't in his third movie. You realize that?
I think the plan was for Batman to die at the end in the second one, and then Superman's son would be the new Batman.
Yeah, but right at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the third one sounded a lot better to me than the one in between. Basically, where the Justice League are dead. But I mean, it just didn't seem like. You know, it's one of those things. I think, like when you don't give it time to see how people respond to things, that's when decisions like that are made. You know, I think they thought of Superman and Batman as the main guys. Like, you know, we don't have to worry about the rest of the Justice League. Nobody cares about them. And now you've got Aquaman having made $1 billion. You've got, I think Flash is going to do well. I think, you know, Wonder Woman definitely is a big star amongst the DCEU. So, you know, treating that kind of character very disrespectfully in a second movie like that, I think is not the best idea if you want to appease general audiences and critics, you know, who already hate you, you know, like, these critics already hate him. And I just can't imagine the kind of typhoon of criticism he would get if he killed off Harley Quinn, Lois Lane, and Wonder Woman in the Me Too generation.
Oh boy, yeah.
Right? Just so that Batman and Superman can fight again.
That ain't gonna fly.
Maybe we'll see. But anyway, man, dude, it was great having you on. Like, do you have any final words about this? And then I'll just wrap it up.
Yeah, no, it was a great discussion. First time doing a live stream. It was fun. Love talking about Venom. Looking forward to seeing that. Snyder, I wish him the best of luck. I'll support his movies. You know, seems like a good guy. And Spider-Man 3 is a good movie.
Spider-Man 3 is a good movie. Well, no, I wouldn't say a good movie. Sorry, that's going a bit too far. I just don't think it's as bad as
everyone says.
Makes out. And also, you know, the thing about sorry, just quickly, Spider-Man 1 and 2, I like, but I guess I don't like them as much as everyone else, and then I don't dislike Spider-Man 3 as everyone else. That's how I would put it.
Let me ask you, what's your favorite comic book movie of all time?
A good question.
If you had to choose, I already know mine. It's Spider-Man 2002. I think that's the perfect origin story, and I love that movie so much.
That's a really, really good question. I would say Batman Begins or Watchmen.
Oh man, I love Watchmen.
Maybe Dredd.
Carl Urban, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dredd is maybe now. Dredd would be in the top 10, but it's not the. And V for Vendetta.
That's a good movie. That one is underrated.
Yeah.
No one talks about that.
Those are three. Yeah, I think that's a really good one. I think those are three I really like. I mean, the rest I could say are in the mix of top 10. Superman 1.
Yes,
is fantastic. Wonder Woman I actually really like as well.
I really like Wonder Woman.
I like Shazam. I like Batman Returns. It's hard, man. Like I
really like Batman Returns. Talk about underrated. Pickle in his blasphemous self.
Yeah, exactly. He's being like doing his blasphemy as usual. But yeah, it's kind of hard. I mean, I like.
Yeah, that's a really hard question.
There's so many I like. Yeah, that's a really hard question. I'll have to think about that. I think it is either Watchmen V for Vendetta or Batman Begins, though. Yeah, I think Batman Begins is like the perfect origin movie. It's like, and I love a good origin movie. And I know a lot of people like hate origin movies.
I really like origin movies. I do. And Batman, I like Batman Begins more than The Dark Knight.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I don't know. I think talk about a hot take. I think The Dark Knight is kind of overrated because
okay.
Hear me out.
No. I don't want to hear anything else. I'll tell you why. Because you are gonna guest star on one of my hot takes Tuesdays with this very thought. Well, let's tease this. We'll talk about it offline. Yeah. But you're gonna explain.
It's a great movie. It's a great movie. Don't get me wrong. I just think that since The Dark Knight is so great, Batman Returns, Batman Begins, they all get, shoved under the carpet. No one talks about them. Everyone goes to The Dark Knight. And Returns is a damn good movie.
Returns is a damn good movie. Try and keep your thoughts up. If you don't mind, I would love to do a hot takes Tuesday with you on this very question or on this very thing because I like to have guests on to do it. So that would be a really fun one. Maybe we can set that up for the week after next.
Yeah,
like not tomorrow, the next Tuesday.
Yeah, I think.
You think you can do that?
Let's see. What do I have going on next Tuesday? I don't think I have anything going on. Yeah, I'll let you know if I can't do it. But for right now, that sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. All right, we'll talk about it offline anyway. But guys, this has been a really great discussion. Thanks so much for joining us today. And thanks everyone for the the comments, questions. Please do give me a high five, smash that like button. Also, subscribe for more content. Plus, subscribe to Superwise. He's got some great content on his channel as well. And what's the last thing people want you to do on YouTube? You like, you subscribe, you
share.
comment, and possibly share. That would be good. Join me, or do add me if you want on Twitter as well, for as another way of getting updates on the videos, and you can kind of have you can communicate with me through that as well. And last but not least, I will see you on the flip side, and I love you 3000. Peace.